That's crazy.
Boo.
The
That
same
guy from Abby's Life is here, though.
the same people that'll say there's a separation between church and state come on here and push religion.
Let's go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear user 5IXXCKDDB.
Oh, my guy. This is the one who told me I'm a bad Catholic.
No, you're the one that's telling yourself you're a bad Catholic because you're not following anything the Catholics teach. But anyway, yeah, abortion is completely wrong. And for you to think a fetus is not a living thing, even though you're a fetus, makes no sense because you need to understand that a fetus doesn't develop automatically into a full-grown person. It has to start somewhere.
Right. I agree. But, I mean, you don't give moral consideration to sperm and eggs, do you?
Moral consideration. What do you mean? Like I don't consent to it? Is that what you're saying?
Like,
No.
do you give moral consideration to, like, your dining room table?
Wait, so you think my sperm is like alive or something?
Well, it is
It
alive.
is alive.
I know, but you can't make a human out of that.
Well, yeah,
What?
what?
That's how humans are made, Buddy Bear.
Oh, so you don't need a woman's eggs. Okay, that's really interesting.
Nobody said that.
No, you just did because you just said my.
I didn't
You
just
need.
say that. You said that you were once a fetus, therefore it is alive. So I went back just one step further to a sperm and an egg.
So explain to me why there hasn't been one sperm that hasn't been like what impregnated by an egg or I don't know how it all
What?
goes. Why
You
does
don't
it?
know how it works?
Why does a lone sperm not turn into a human?
It needs an egg.
Oh,
But
oh,
I'm saying that we were once the sum of our parts, correct?
we were
Like,
what?
why can you say you were once a fetus? I was once, an egg was once existed before my time too. Like, do you give moral consideration to an egg?
No, the
That was my point.
only time something starts growing is when the sperm impregnates the egg. That's the only time.
Impregnates.
No, it's hold on, Kenzie. It's the sperm that gets impregnated.
Whatever it is, that's the only time. And second off, I mean, you want to be selfish and abort because that's really what it comes down to is being selfish.
Well, you just want to be self-righteous.
No, not a matter of self-righteous. You're just
It
taking the
is. You come on here with an unfounded superiority of morality, and you're not.
no, because you're making a decision upon somebody else that can't make the decision for themselves, and you're ending
Right,
their
they're
life.
not a sentient being, right?
What?
They're not a sentient being, like they have no will.
Oh, so you expect it to just be a full-grown man in your womb?
No, I'm saying that I don't give moral consideration to it.
I know you don't. That's why you abort. But for the people that do, they understand that a fetus is going to develop into a human. It already is.
No,
It
it
already,
may develop into a human. It's not guaranteed. Did
okay,
you
so
know that 50 to 80% of fertilized eggs don't even implant into the uterus? And
I
then
know,
ones that
but maybe
do, actually 50% result in miscarriage. So it's actually more likely that when an egg is fertilized, it will not result in a live birth than that
okay,
it will.
okay, but they're not intentionally killing the baby. An abortion is. So that's
Right, but you can't say that it will become this because that's
but
not true. It
they're
may. It
they're trying
may become this.
they're trying to have the baby. That's the difference. You do not want it. You're going to kill it.
You're not listening.
No, I am because those people
You're
don't.
not.
What?
You're not.
I am.
Because I'm just correcting your context. You're saying that if something is fertilized, it will result in a live birth if you don't interfere with it. And that is not true.
I understand. You know our bodies aren't perfect. Like there's a lot of disabilities in the world. There's a
Right.
lot.
You realize that I'm not making my own arguments, that I am just addressing yours.
Do you realize that our bodies aren't perfect and this stuff happens? Yes, miscarriages happen, but
Okay.
a lot more caring than an abortion because that is completely 100% guaranteed killing that baby.
It's not a baby.
So were you a fetus?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so did you when you were a fetus were you the exact same size you are now?
I'm sorry?
When you were a fetus, were you the exact same size as you are now?
No.
Okay, so like a seed that you got to water, like what is it going to turn into?
It might turn into a plant. It might die.
But if you take care of it and hypothetically your body, functions fine for having a baby,
Like
it's going to turn into an
hypothetically.
adult.
So again, it's not a guarantee. It's a may. It may, it might, it could.
But every single person on this earth was a fetus. So in conclusion, that is
Right. And
a,
every single person on this world was also once an egg.
no, that they're not an egg. What do you mean an egg? Like an egg that was like impregnated by the sperm? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, yes. Everything takes time to develop. Nobody is automatically a full grown man or woman.
Right.
Everything
And I'm
starts,
saying that you don't give moral consideration to eggs. Like, you don't feel bad when a woman gets her period. Like, no, that was a baby that never got to be born.
but that's not how it is. A
So like,
period.
why do you put value on it when it's not a sperm or egg, but once it is fertilized and has connected to the endometrium?
Because
Like, why at that point?
that makes all the difference because that's when an actual baby is developing. This other thing you're
Right.
telling me, that's not when
So,
a baby develops.
so
That's a
you
period.
so you care about the potential that it has to be a human being. You
No,
care
it's
about
not.
the potential.
No, not potential. It's when it is developing into a human being. That's the difference.
Right, but there
No,
are
it is
statistics that
potential.
30
to 50% of
I
those are
don't.
going to
I
miscarry.
care. I don't care about potential. These people that
That's all you care about is potential.
no, I don't. It's the babies that are actually growing that their lives are ended shortly.
They are
That's
not a baby, though. Like, you do recognize that.
so without a fetus, there will be no human. With a fetus, it's going to develop. You need to
Without sperm, without eggs, there is no human.
okay, then don't have sex. It's that simple.
What the fuck, dude?
Wait,
What?
have you ever had sex? Are you a virgin?
No,
Well, then get the fuck out of here with that argument. What are you saying?
because you need to understand that when you do have sex, there's a possibility of you having a kid.
Right, but sex serves more than just a biological purpose.
What is it? Yeah, it's
It
enjoyable, but
also has psychological and social purposes, and humans are social creatures.
okay, but if you want to fuck around and then you end up getting pregnant, which is something that is a possibility, don't go and abort the kid because this kid has no right to say anything. It can't talk. It can't defend itself in any way, and you're making this decision upon your own reasoning because you have no morals.
No, I would actually people argue that people who do have abortions and who do support pro-choice have more morality than people like you.
Okay, so do you enjoy your life?
I do.
So you would have been fine being aborted.
Well, you see, I was wanted. I was very much wanted. And that makes a
But
difference.
whoa, your parents never even knew you. You're in the exact same boat. You never even knew the fetus you aborted. So how would they
Right,
know that?
but I didn't want
It's just
that child.
they had better moral standing than you. That's the difference.
How do you
No,
ask if she would be
it's not
happy
the
being
difference.
aborted?
I'm literally telling you the difference. The difference is that my mother wanted to have a baby, and I did not. And that's really important, that children who are born are wanted.
And that is where moral standing comes in and you have full disregard for life. It's
No, you're not, you're just saying stuff like that doesn't
no
even make sense.
I'm definitely not because that is full disregard because you don't think a fetus is a baby.
It's
That's
not. Tell me,
then that,
if why would I take it out of the womb, does it not survive if it's a baby? Because
because
when a baby is born, right, it survives.
do you understand how many different organs in how many different like muscles and all this bones? There's over 200 bones in the body. It's not going to automatically just be a freaking full grown baby right off the start. It has to start somewhere and grow somewhere. It doesn't just automatically become a human being.
Right,
Do-
and that's what I'm saying is that I don't give embryonic life the same value that I give human life, which the human life is the sum of everything that you just described. It is the system.
There's no difference.
There
That is
is. How can
just
you
I'm
say that something that has no heart, no lungs, no liver, no brain is the same as something that has a heart, has a liver, has lungs, has a
that
brain?
there's
How
a
can you
reason
say those are the
there's,
same thing?
there's a reason why pregnancy takes 9 months. If it was an automatic or if it was an automatic birth, it would
I'm
take
aware that it's an ongoing process, but you have to acknowledge that a fetus prior to viability is not the same as a baby.
the only difference between a
Is
fetus and
that
a baby
correct?
is the amount
Is
of
that
time.
correct?
Now,
No, it is not.
the
it
only
it is correct.
the only difference between a fetus and a baby is the amount of time you give to grow. That's the only difference. It's still going to be the exact same human, but if you give it a year and you have the kid, then it lived a year longer.
Right. And the only difference between you now and you when you're dead is time. Therefore, I should just treat you like you're dead.
What?
Give me a
Yeah,
break, dude.
but we all know that we're going to die. And an aborted baby has no chance of even living.
Right. But you
correct.
see like how your logic, you're essentially
That
saying that if you just give it time, it'll be this. So you should treat it as
no,
this. And I'm
you're
saying just give you time and you'll be dead. Therefore, we should just treat you like you're dead.
you're comparing something that is 100% going to happen to every person on this earth to a person that was in a womb, and that person could have the chance to allow that being to
I
live, but instead
feel like
life
you came to a battle of wits unarmed. This is very hard for me.
unarmed.
Do you know what like bodily
Mhm.
autonomy? Let's just because we're not going to get anywhere with him. So we could either like back him into a corner and make him
No,
say
no,
really ugly shit. Hold on, I'm talking, kiddo.
you don't even know what the fuck.
Or hold on, or we can like explain to him bodily autonomy. Kenzie, which route would you rather take?
I'm fine either way. I
Sure.
mean,
So user five. Do you make any exceptions for abortion? Like, what about if a woman's sexually assaulted?
That's where moral standing comes in. I would understand it more if they're R worded, because apparently we're not allowed to say that. I would understand it
Sure.
more. I still believe that you should have the baby, but I would understand it more. That's where like
Yeah,
religion
you would
comes.
understand it, but like you don't want it to be allowed because you think that there's something wrong with taking human life.
No, I still just said that I don't want it to be aborted, but I could understand the reasoning more than a completely innocent child when people want to fuck around and then have a kid.
So you don't care about abortion being illegal. You just want to be able to sit here and judge everybody.
It's the exact same thing. You're still killing a baby, whether you're
Well, yeah.
aborted.
So do you think it should be illegal or not? Great. So if you had a daughter who was 12 years old and she got sexually assaulted, you're going to make her carry that baby?
No, well,
Well, then where's it? Then where's the
you,
consistency in your logic?
you said
Because a baby conceived out of sexual assault is as much of a human life as a baby conceived out of consensual sex.
you said it should be illegal or shouldn't.
I think it should not be illegal at
Uh,
any point.
I thought you said shouldn't.
I asked you, should it or should it not? And you
Yeah,
said it
bro.
should be illegal.
Should it?
That's pretty clear. You gave a very clear answer.
I thought you said shouldn't.
So, like I said, you don't care about the legality. You just want to sit there and judge women.
No, it's moral standing. It's moral standing and the amount of selfishness that goes around in this world. You see how many people abort it because they don't want to spend the money, they don't want to spend the time, they don't want their 20s, 30s to be screwed up because they got to take care of a baby. That's the exact reason why people abort, because they don't want to have time for this kid, because they want to mess around and
because they feel the child deserves more than they're able to give.
then put it up for adoption. What the fuck?
Oh, so you think abandoning a child in a broken system is ethical?
Do you understand a baby's not going to know who their parents are if they're adopted?
That's not. That's not always the case.
Yeah,
I'm adopted.
no,
Fun
no,
fact.
Yeah,
definitely.
Ryan's adopted.
Okay,
Do you know anything about the adoption system? Do you know anything about like orphanages? Do you know about like the overpopulation of them, like the malnutrition that goes on, the lack of care?
so you're thinking
You
that
don't care about the quality of life. You just want it to live.
it's better than living or dying. I mean, living is way better than dying.
Right, you lack compassion though.
You're killing a human. That's the least compassionate thing I've ever heard of. Adopting a baby would be way more caring than just letting the baby die.
It's not a baby. Like that's
Oh,
the entire thing. Just
okay.
like you don't cry when women have periods because that's a missed opportunity for a baby being conceived.
So you want to tell me that?
Detaching something that doesn't even have the capacity to sustain its own existence outside the womb, no, I do not think is immoral in any way. I think your position
So
of wanting to subjugate and oppress women is very immoral.
so you want to say that I'm not getting the point, but you also want to say that you weren't a fetus.
No,
What?
I've said several times that I was a fetus, and I have
So
substantiated the difference between being wanted and unwanted. Because
so
I don't see you on here advocating for better sex education. I don't see you on here advocating for domestic violence shelters for when women get pregnant by their abusers. They don't have to fear for their lives and have resources to leave. I don't see you advocating for free healthcare, free daycare, free paid maternity leave. All I hear you say is abort baby bad, but yet you don't
or
want to address the
or
entire
or
ecosystem around that. And you have no compassion for what kind of life they will have after. It's
or
easy for you to love the unborn.
or instead of having S word and messing around, use or you can, but at least use protection other than
51% of abortions, the women have noted that there was failed contraceptive.
I know.
So, right. So
But
then what do you mean?
honestly,
So if
I
they
would,
tried to use it, if they tried to use the protection, like you just said, they should at least do that much.
Then
Then can they have an abortion?
that's where moral standing comes in because they wear condoms
you
because they
know,
clearly
I would argue
don't want
that it's all men's fault. You should really be talking to men about this issue because they're the ones who get women who don't want to be pregnant.
okay.
Where's
So
their
the ones
responsibility?
okay, so you think only men when they're messing around think of this stuff. They think, "Oh, we could have a baby."
Why
But the
can't you
girls are
just keep your DNA to yourself?
oh, it's
I
that
mean,
Yeah,
easy.
why are
remember,
they
you said it
acting
requires
so
an egg and
recklessly
sperm.
and just disregarding it without a care in the world?
So you don't think women think about this before they do it.
The women's
No,
not the one
I,
that gets inseminated in.
Okay.
The guy is the one that has
if
to
we
finish
just stop
inside a woman.
men, it
Then
doesn't matter what women do. If we just stop men from just chucking it anywhere they wanted, problem solved.
you understand that pre-nut or whatever you want to call it can get people pregnant,
No, it has very little sperm,
but it
like
can't.
almost zero.
No,
No, it
it
is
can't.
actually virtually impossible to get
No,
pregnant off of
this is
pre-cum.
no. You said there's little, and you understand how much sperm
And
is.
yeah, very little. Like, do you know how much sperm is in like semen, not in pre-cum?
There's still thousands and thousands and thousands. You want to compare
There's
one?
not.
Yes, you want to compare one drop of sperm, which has hundreds of millions, and then very very small. Say you take a hundredth of that,
If
1%.
this is your defense for men, is that, oh, what about pre-cum? Like, come on, bro. No, it's men's fault, and you can't deny it.
It's not men's
Why
fault.
don't you just wrap it up, huh? Why don't
What?
you just not, why don't guys just like stop having orgasms with a condom on?
They don't have, bro. Nobody has, or at least me. I've never done it inside of her with my condom on. Like, no, I don't do that.
What, did you have
Great, then I
sex
think you
outside
should
of her?
really be advocating to men about this issue because that's clearly where the issue is that men aren't practicing sex like you are.
Well, if I had a kid, I would actually have good moral standing, and I wouldn't kill the kid. And you need to also
Well,
understand.
you can say that because you're a man and you'll never actually have to be faced with that choice. So it's very easy for you to sit on your high
No,
horse and think you look pretty.
my girl also said that she wouldn't abort the kid. No way. But do you
If you
think?
had a if you had a
Well,
child,
if you give
right?
me your
Like
address, I'll send her flowers.
if you yourself had a kid and that kid required a body part of yours in order to survive, and if you gave the kid that organ, you would die. Do you have to give the kid the organ?
No, because the kid's already born.
So then why does a woman have to give the kid her body?
Do you understand that you're taking something that is so dramatic and At least when you don't abort the kid and the kid has something wrong with him, you at least gave the kid a hope of life. By aborting the kid, he doesn't have a chance of life. So yeah, say he does have something wrong with his body. I mean, our bodies aren't perfect, so this stuff does happen. So no, I would not give my kid and die if he has something dramatically wrong with him. If there's already a possibility of him probably dying.
But you just said that the whole point is that you should care about their life because you created them. So therefore you should make sure that they live.
They were already born. That's the complete difference. And we're taking something that is very small. What amount of kids are born with like no limbs?
So a fetus that doesn't have like sentience or consciousness or full development or even close to 100% chance of being viable has more rights and value than a child that has been birthed?
Oh, okay. So a fetus isn't going to develop into you. So you are a fetus and you're now a full-grown man.
Do you think a fetus is more valuable than a child?
It is a child. What are you talking about?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jesus
A
Christ.
child's a born person.
Don't even say Jesus Christ because he don't teach this shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know who your God is, but mine's pretty forgiving.
And
mine doesn't. Mine tells me not to judge other people.
To certain sins, he's forgiving, but not every sin he's open to. You got
So what's the? We're not going down the religious thing. We're not doing that. Do you understand what bodily autonomy is?
You know,
like
you don't
the right to do what you will with your own body. No, I just can't deal with people like you because you think you sit on this fucking pedestal of morality and you just sound like an absolute moron to anybody you talk to. But anyway, do you understand what bodily autonomy is and the right to life?
That's where being selfish comes in. You don't want to have the kid because you don't want to care for the kid and spend money on the kid and feed the kid for the next 18 years of your life. That's why.
Is the fetus taking the woman's resources or not?
Yep.
Does it have the right to do that?
Did the fetus have a choice?
Well, you're selfish for wearing a condom.
Did the fetus have a choice?
No. Do you understand that you can? Do you know how like self-defense works? Like if you infringe on my rights, I then have the right to infringe on yours. Correct? I couldn't just kill you though because I wanted to, right?
Fetus doesn't have a choice. That's the difference.
It doesn't matter if the woman's in a position. No, why does that matter?
What the fuck? The fetus does not have a choice. There is no
if
other
somebody,
option.
dude, if somebody brought you into my house and connected you to me while I'm sleeping, and I don't want you to be connected to me, I can sever that connection.
Yeah, because I'm a physical.
No, even if you were gonna die, even if you would die, I can do that because you don't get to dictate how I use my body.
You need to understand though that I have a choice.
No, you didn't. You were asleep. You got brought into my house. Just like a fetus gets brought into the woman. She didn't snap her finger and say, boom, I want this fetus inside me. I hope you understand that women don't choose to get pregnant.
Okay, so we're blaming. Oh, wait. They don't choose to get pregnant, but before they do the S word, it's definitely in their mind that they could get pregnant.
I don't believe you've had sex if you really sit here and refer to it as the S word.
Oh, well, when I was on...
You're not a very good Christian if you're having sex before marriage.
Neither are you. Wait, who said I wasn't married?
My God, you stop. Stop.
You said girlfriend.
What?
You said girlfriend.
You didn't say wife.
You said girlfriend.
You said girlfriend, not wife.
Girl.
Right. Why wouldn't you say wife?
The audacity of a man to refer to his wife as his girl.
You don't even have a wife and you never have, or a girl.
How do you... Okay, I forgot you know me.
Well, I mean, you want to start...
What does that have to do with anything?
Because he wants to say, oh, yeah, a fetus just hopped right in and decided to take my resources. Well,
you're very self-righteous.
Self-righteous. No, I just feel bad for selfish, or for aborted people, because selfish people want to just kill them. That's what I feel bad for.
What do you feel bad for aborted people? Like, what have they lost?
Right, they don't know they exist. So when you ask Kenzie if she would have rather been aborted or if she would have been happy being aborted, she would have never been in a state to experience being happy, so she wouldn't fucking know if she was aborted.
So let's just say her parents told her, we were going to abort you, but instead we put you up for adoption. What would you have rather wanted? You definitely would have rather been adopted.
No, I
speaking
talked
from
to a
experience,
lot.
let me tell
Yeah.
you.
Oh, okay.
Let me tell you that answer is no. And in fact, I don't know if you know this, you probably don't, but like life is not all unicorns and rainbows. Like I've had a lesser than amazing childhood. So I'd tell you that if I had the
It's
choice
probably
of
not that
never
bad.
existing or dealing with the shit that I have, I'm probably going to go with the forefront of those two answers.
No. My mother died when I was 6, and then I had an extremely abusive household. And I'm still fine. I still love my life. So life really isn't that bad at all.
Right, but you realize that people don't have that same experience that you do.
Exactly.
There
But
are many people who feel that they have experience that you do.
exactly.
There
But
are
I'm
many people who feel that they have severe trauma from the adoption system. And for you to just dismiss that as that you should be grateful for life, it's very problematic.
okay. So how you understand that you only have one chance of life, and you're ruining that for that person.
I could say the same thing with every egg that passes through me every month. Oh, there went their chance for life.
They wait. What? Say it again.
I could say that every month I get my period. That, oh, that egg will never have a chance at life.
Oh, I never knew that egg had sperm next to it. That's interesting. I didn't know.
Right, but it has the same potential for life as the fetus does.
No, it doesn't, because a fetus doesn't
It
start.
does.
No, it doesn't. An egg just doesn't start a baby. A sperm doesn't just start a baby. They have to come together.
So wait a
Right,
minute.
but
If the
why
egg,
wouldn't they have equal potential if they are a part of the sequence?
Oh my god! So you
if
just
the
place a seed down, and it's just gonna grow. Just throw it right in the middle of your room, and it's just gonna grow. No, you need water. So it's pretty much practically useless if you don't have sperm and an egg together. It's useless. So that argument completely contradicts itself.
Well, a fetus is useless without a uterus.
Okay, and get your
So there goes your logic again. I mean, if you're going to
wait.
say an egg is useless without a sperm, a fetus is useless without a womb.
Okay, how many people are born without a uterus? I don't even know how this is coming up, but who doesn't have a uterus?
Men.
right, what?
Hey, like since when could men give birth?
You just asked me who doesn't have a uterus, and I told
Okay,
you.
but yeah, that's obvious. Like, why would I need to know? I don't have a uterus.
Well, then why did you ask?
No, what's the point of this? You say they don't have. Some people don't have uteruses.
You're saying an egg is not valued the equivalent to a fetus because it needs sperm. Where I'm saying if we even say that same thing, then a fetus is not valuable because guess what? It needs a uterus.
Perfect. So
So there's an ingredient that's still missing. So it's not complete,
perfect.
just like the egg is not complete, which is why I give the same moral consideration.
Perfect. So no uterus means no abortion. So I actually support that even more. So thanks for bringing that up.
Great. Yes. No uterus means no abortion.
So proven.
You killed it, bro. You
I'm
killed it.
telling you, like I don't think I've ever lost a debate.
Let me take my crown off and give it to him.
What?
Dude, what is like so your whole thing is that once the egg and the sperm have met, it's valuable?
Yes, and if they actually come together and it starts forming a fetus,
Yeah,
that
well, yeah, but sure. Like what's the difference though between a fertilized ovum and a fetus? Do you know what ovum is? Do you know the
what
process of like fertilization?
what is the stage before fetus?
Sure, it would be before an embryo.
Okay. Yes, when the sperm form and her stomach starts growing, you know you're pregnant, that is when an abortion is wrong.
So
I-
even
Well,
if we give moral consideration, right? Let's say that the fetus has equal rights to somebody like you and I, okay?
Okay.
Is that fetus infringing on the woman's right to her own bodily autonomy?
He had no choice and he has no rights.
has no
It
rights.
doesn't,
Great.
right? Like what? You just yeah.
He
I mean,
has no
thank you. I normally try to like get the last word in like finishing a debate, but I've never had somebody concede that easily.
Wow. So you apparently didn't listen to anything I said.
You said it has no rights, my guy. If it has no rights, then you can kill it.
It's still a human though, so it's still murder. What does a fetus have that can defend himself? Nothing. There's nothing.
Defend from what?
Murder, from being killed. He can't say.
Well,
please don't
the
abort me.
fetus is attached to an umbilical cord, which is attached to the placenta. So if I just disconnect, if I just surgically remove the placenta from the uterine wall, and I don't even touch the fetus, are they okay?
They're gonna die.
Why?
What? Because they're not getting resources.
Right, because essentially they are a being that is on life support. So it's not so much that we actually stab the fetus. It's that they don't even have the ability to exist.
Oh, okay. So if you grow and if you don't want to, say for somebody that's trying to be a bodybuilder, they got to eat to grow. So the fetus needs resources clearly to grow into a human, and when you remove that, that is killing it. When you starve a kid, say it's I don't know, there's a bunch of kids starving every day. Say over in Africa, millions of kids that die every single year because of starving. Why? Because they're not getting the resources. Same for a fetus. If you don't give it resources, it's gonna die.
Those are material dependencies, and we are actually just talking about the ability to survive. Because yes, while children will starve, it doesn't happen instantly where they don't get food and they just instantly die.
Wait, so what?
Where with a fetus, once it's removed from the uterus, it instantly dies.
Wait, so what are you giving the kid when it's in the womb? Like, what resource?
What? You have these debates and you don't know anything about pregnancy?
No,
you just come on here and like argue about your God having like some bigger dick than anybody else's.
It probably is, but I want her to tell me what it means.
Tell you what means?
What resources they are? What consists in the resources?
I mean, there's several resources. I mean, that's even how the fetus gets oxygen, is through the umbilical cord.
Okay, so you stop eating, you're gonna have no food, which means the baby's not gonna have any food and it's gonna die. So, and the fetus had absolutely no argument, no choice in coming into this world.
Well, they aren't a conscious being. I mean, if I throw a rock, does the rock say ow?
Okay, that was the worst argument ever. Yes, say that rock grows up into somebody, it will in a couple years. You let it, you give it time to actually grow and become like a rock. Isn't argue with that.
Would you prefer a tree?
A tree is a living thing, but it is not a human. It doesn't have a brain. Some stuff that
Neither does a fetus.
Yeah, a fetus doesn't have a brain immediately. It doesn't even have a heart until like 5.5 weeks of gestation. So should we kill it up until then?
As I said, it takes time to develop into a human. That's why.
Right. So again, your whole argument is potential. Right. Your entire argument is potential. So if we're going to treat things off of potential, then all of us should be in prison because we all have the potential to be murderers.
No, it's not.
We don't treat things off of potential, man. We treat things based off of what they have exhibited themselves to be.
There's a reason why it's not considered quote-unquote murder. Because people have no moral standing in this world, and they don't have logic. They don't want to admit that this is a human.
You can't negotiate logically your way out of a brown paper bag right now. Like,
okay.
You haven't said one point that has any kind of foundation.
You're tripping heavy because you think that a fetus is automatically just.
I'm tripping heavy, bro.
You think a fetus automatically just becomes a human. That's your thinking.
That's what you said.
No, I haven't said that once.
No, because it takes time. That's the thing.
Fuck.
It takes time. No human is going to be an automatic adult when they start living. The second that.
No shit, Sherlock.
What?
No shit. Like, you aren't saying anything
Exactly. So how the fuck?
highly intelligent or of any high degree
Okay, so
of biology.
whether you kill a baby 1 year after it is born, or you kill it when it's a fetus, it just lived a year longer than it did. That's the only difference.
Come on, let's go outside.
Exactly. There's nothing you can say.
No, there's a lot that I can say.
So you're telling me if you let that baby live, if you let that baby that was in your stomach or your womb live, would it have grown to a baby?
It may have.
And why do people abort? Why do people abort? The fact because it's gonna turn into a baby.
Well, you don't
think
want to
that's
be
the only
pregnant
reason?
anymore.
Right.
Then don't mess around. It's that simple.
See, for someone who values human life or who claims to, you have a very dehumanizing view of sex.
No, it's just the truth. You understand that sex is the way that people come into this world.
Well, not necessarily anymore. We actually don't even really need sex more to procreate. But again, like we've already talked about, sex serves 3 purposes.
Okay, explain those purposes and then explain how people come into the world besides sex, please, and that don't have sperm and eggs.
In vitro fertilization,
IVF, yeah, dude.
insemination.
Okay, so that you need to understand that ejaculation happens during sex. It's the exact same thing whether you do it with your hand or not.
It does, but we don't need sex anymore.
See how he's not using the S
People
word
don't
anymore?
need to have
He's actually
sex
saying sex.
to get pregnant.
What? Okay, wow. I'll ejaculate into a cup and then hand it to some woman, and she can have my kids. Like, it's
Right, you realize that's still conception without intercourse.
it's still conception, yes, because you're still you're still giving an egg.
Right, but you can still have babies without sex.
Obviously. But
Right.
still the same. You're literally still putting eggs and sperm together. There's literally no difference.
You are. There is a difference because I'm sure like that's my whole point is that we have evolved enough as a species to where we don't even need to have sex anymore to conceive.
They could have done this 6,000 years.
Yes.
They could have done this 6,000 years ago, poured into a little wooden cup and then just give it to somebody. You could easily do that.
Wait a minute. Do you think they would drink the wooden cup? How do you think IVF happens?
How do I think what?
How were we going to do this thousands of years ago? Tell me.
Wooden cup.
I mean, you said wooden cup. So, like, how would that wooden cup happen?
There was definitely wooden cups and bowls, and you could honestly, you only need.
So you just think like you just pour it in her? Is that what you're talking about?
I think the girl just does like a headstand, and you just like spread her open and pour it down.
So moving on. Sex has 3 purposes. It is biological, psychological, and social.
Wait.
So you are simply reducing sex to a biological purpose and taking essentially the human elements out of it.
Wait, before you go on, let's not move past that. So let's
Why?
The average ween.
It's not good for you, bro. If we keep going down this road, it will not end up well for you.
It is. So the average ween is 2 inches. It can still get people pregnant. say
the average what?
Let's just say the average ween is like 1 or 2 inches. It can still get
the average what?
Ween.
Ween?
Penis. Dick. I don't know what you want to say.
Continue, man. Go ahead.
So yes.
Are you saying male genitalia?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't got a micro. I'm one out of go into death.
Well, I mean, if you're averaging at 2, like, all right, bro.
It's not small.
It explains your vibes. It explains the vibes.
I wish y'all knew me IRL because I definitely don't got no micro ween. I can promise you that.
But I mean, well, if that's what makes you feel good, like you need that to feel good, we'll give it to you, bro.
No, maybe
you got a big one with your god.
Bro, he's probably at least 150% bigger than the average. Got to give him like 3.5.
No. Okay, I'm not even gonna talk about it. But a 1 or 2 inch can get a female pregnant. Say 6,000 years ago, you put it on a stick and you just push it in, boom, get pregnant. Literally. You can't even say I'm not.
Sorry, continue. Let me hear more about the turkey basting.
It's just true. Like, you can
There's
get
not even like inertia, dude. There's not, and like what? Do you just like drip it on the stick? Like,
if
It
you
just
if you
rolls
look
down.
if you look
oh
up
my god.
if it literally says that if you get sperm anywhere near the vagina, there's a chance of it getting pregnant. So it doesn't even have to be in.
Do you know what the parts of the vagina are?
No, I don't research this.
Oh, dude, how old are you? Have you been?
Oh,
like...
please send me your girlfriend's address so I can send her flowers, please.
I can give you her name.
She needs some happiness in life.
You want her
No,
name?
you mean his wife. His wife, remember? Not his wife.
Oh, his wife, sorry.
God. I can't. I just fucking can't. All right, continue with your stick drip theory. Nothing? Okay. Maybe he'll pop back in. His girlfriend might be calling him for how embarrassed she is right now.
Yeah, Ryan, do you mind if I let Aaron in? I would like
Yeah.
a social worker to talk to him about sex. All right, thank you.
Oh, boy.
He's Googling diaphragm. Hey, Aaron.
Oh, hey, oh my gosh. I'm kind of dying right now. Oh
He's
no.
muted. I don't know how you muted yourself, bro. Like, if you want to disconnect and re-request, I'll let you back in.
Oh my gosh.
Did you like the stick? I told him he should not go down this road. I told him it would not go well for him. Okay. And he's like, yes, it will.
It's not going to go well for him right now if he comes back on. It really isn't. Oh my gosh.
User 5, are you back? Oh, he left.
I guess not. I don't know where to begin. Like, I'm just dead right now.
Ooh, TikTok does not want to connect him.
No?
TikTok says you are a non-viable embryo.
Oh my gosh. I do actually have a topic you and I can talk about really quick.
You do? Oh, how exciting.
Yes, I know. Okay, so I've heard you talk about a study that was done relating to a scientist and his cohort looking at whether or not the tip of the penis is meant to scoop out semen or be some sort of like mechanism for scooping.
I don't know if like scooping's the right word, but the design is to pull out the competitor, pull out the semen of the competitor.
Yeah, so there's a couple of problems I have with that study. Holy shit. Like, so one of the first things that the author actually talks about in his article is that this is merely a hypothesis. So it's really not something to go on as far as fact, even though media reports are reporting it as fact. One of the other problems with the study is that it usually
I don't even know if I got it from a study. I feel like I heard it in a bar.
Wait, what are we talking about?
We're talking about the shape of the male genitalia. But welcome back. I'm so glad you were able to connect.
Yeah, so we're talking about a study. But basically, it's not a very good design of a study because what they were measuring were penises that have been circumcised. So we don't really know evolutionarily what that would entail. So that's one issue.
We got an evolutionist, folks.
Yeah. You got two.
Yeah.
We got me, a logical person who doesn't think this whole planet just came from a freaking Big Bang. But anyway.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't put semen on a stick, so I don't know if logical would be a
You can put semen in a cup.
slam dunk for you.
You can put semen
Well,
on.
you said stick, my friend.
What about it? Okay, not a stick. It was too funny for you. What if you put it on your finger and you just stick it in? Boom! That could easily get her pregnant.
No.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Like,
I'm glad you're interested.
Yes, so that doesn't happen. So
Like
do you know how deep a vagina is?
7 inches.
Right.
Which is
so you need a bit of force to get the semen near the cervix or the entryway of the uterus.
Okay.
And so a 2-inch scoop or a finger won't really help.
But it can flow down. Like, you understand that it can move around and stuff?
If it flows down, that means it's going out of the body, not in.
It doesn't. Do you understand when you
Because
look it up? When you
so
look
what
up,
happens when a woman is erect, her uterus and her vagina actually shifts, so it moves, right? Basically, it points downwards towards the planet, if you want to put it as that reference point. So gravity actually is working against semen.
okay, so let's ask all the people that got impregnated when they pulled out or they were using condoms.
Do you realize that it takes ejaculation or in other cases in modern times, IVF? So there takes a bit of a force for semen to get somewhere. So you can't have a 2-inch stick. That won't work.
But ejaculate, or if you're wearing a condom, you're completely covered all the way up to like
right, but the condom breaks is how it fails.
Yeah. Okay, but he just said it's 7 inches, so I'm sure your Yisa doesn't have a 7-inch. He's got 5 inches. That's 2 inches to go. Since it's not 7 inches. Since it's not 7
right,
inches.
that's why ejaculation requires force, is that it's pushing
yes.
it.
I know, but why do people with condoms that don't break, why do they get pregnant?
Because they break.
No, but the ones that don't break, people still get pregnant.
Then they don't get pregnant.
No, they don't.
No.
Yeah.
Ryan,
so if a condom doesn't break, a condom does not get someone pregnant.
But Ryan just told me that it does, actually, when he was on.
No.
He said people that use protection have been impregnated.
Right. They're using the condom, but it breaks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Contraceptives fail.
So you're telling me
contraceptions fail, like a condom, is when someone can get pregnant.
Okay. So you're telling me
a condom breaks.
You're telling me that somebody with a micro penis cannot get somebody pregnant because it is so far away from the.
No, we're saying your stick analogy doesn't work because there's no force behind it. Where with a micro penis, there is still ejaculation.
What do you mean force? You can just shove it in. Get a 10-inch stick.
That's not how ejaculation works.
Get a 10-inch stick.
Not how that works.
It does. Literally, when you look up.
You really don't respect women, do you?
No, I just have to say it like that because you don't understand it. They say if you get.
No, really, you have like a very low level understanding of how this all works.
No,
So do you realize that I've spent 11 years in the field of sexual violence and sexual health education?
Okay. It says online, if you get sperm anywhere near the vagina, you can get pregnant. Why does it say that?
No, that's not how that works.
Yes, it says it online. Like, literally look it up.
Guess what?
What's your source?
Yeah, guess what? Guess what, dude? Like, I'm an expert in this field. Google does not override my expertise in this.
Oh, so
if semen is near the outside, if semen is on someone's vulva, there is not a chance that someone can get pregnant that way.
Okay, so this isn't even the topic, but you're for abortion, I'd assume?
Of course.
So you're for killing. You're for murdering.
No.
But that's
abortion.
Yeah, murder. So you believe
the medical procedure.
Murder's a legal term, Ender.
So is abortion. They're both legal.
No, abortion is not a legal term. Abortion is a medical term.
Isn't it legalized?
No. So Roe v. Wade is a legal
No.
framework protecting abortion, which is a medical service.
Okay, so you believe that you never came from a fetus. Like, you weren't a fetus at one point.
I was a fetus at one point, yes.
And it takes time to develop as a human, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference of a baby and a fetus when it's still a human?
Developmental cycle.
Okay, so you can't just expect a fetus to just automatically be a grown human. It's going to develop into
Correct.
a baby. Like, say,
It can.
a pregnant pig
Yes.
is going to develop into a pig, even though it's a fetus. A
A
lion.
pregnant
Well, it
pig
may. It
A
may.
pregnant pig is not going to develop into a pig. The pig is already a pig if it's pregnant. A fetus.
So a pig doesn't
Yeah.
have a fetus?
So
You're
a pig,
just not very good at phrasing things, Ender.
Yeah.
No, a pregnant pig doesn't develop a fetus.
a pregnant.
You're
pig
talking
can
about the
develop a
pregnant
fetus,
pig,
yes.
not the pregnancy.
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay,
Yeah, that explains
that
a lot.
checks.
Explains a lot, even though you're okay.
Yeah.
A 20-year-old
I'm
has
34. I'm 34, and like my work experience is half of your life, dude.
And you do what for a living?
I'm a sexual violence prevention advocate and sexual health educator.
Okay, it's the first half you can take out of your resume because that's not even a real job. It's just something you do in
Yeah,
your
it
spare
is.
time.
Are
The-
you
No, it is an
kidding?
actual job.
Sex
It is an
educator.
actual job.
Yeah, I guess. I'm sure you make tons of bank with that. But
I make
So
a
jobs
living.
are only real if you make bank?
yeah, because you don't make money from it, so it's more of
Yeah,
like
I
a
do.
hobby for you.
He
So-
does make money.
Yeah. So Kenzie, can I explain what I do for a living?
Of course you can, Aaron. I love
Sure.
hearing it.
Thank you. So, as a sexual violence prevention advocate, I'm a paid employee for a specific nonprofit. And what I do is I provide services related to processing harassment restraining orders, orders for protection. I provide police reports or conducting police reports with police in mind. I do hotline calls, and I do a lot of resource referrals and information. And then what I also do is individual one-to-one counseling with survivors of sexual violence. And this is a paid role, and I'm also getting a grant from the county.
Okay, so you do all this stuff, but you still think a 1-year-old baby that was born is completely different from a fetus, even though it's.
What do you do for a living, Ender?
I do real estate,
Oh.
and I work at a bounce house company.
You work at a
So-
bounce house company?
Yeah.
Real estate must be going well then.
No, it actually is. I mean, I just got my license.
Then
2
why
months
do you need to work at a bounce house
I
company?
mean, I just got my license 2 months ago, but I have a closing next month. So
Well, I'm sure you're happy with the perks you get at your bounce house company.
well, I mean, you clearly couldn't pay for your aborted kid, so you had to abort it. So I'm sure you're making
Abortion costs money, jackass.
what?
Like, abortions aren't free.
Because she clearly couldn't pay for the kid, so she had to abort it.
No, abortions cost money.
Oh wow, $500. Do you know how much it costs to raise a kid?
No.
It's like $200,000. It's
No.
200
So
grand.
abortions cost about $1,300 on average.
Wow, 200,000 compared to 1,300. Holy crap! What am I gonna do?
No one.
You know
has
what?
$1,300
I will
to
kick
stay alive.
you if you continue to act like a petulant child.
You can kick me. Your life's gonna drop down about 600.
Right. People like to watch stupid people say stupid shit. So you're
No.
probably correct in that. But if you want to act like a petulant child, you can go jump in your bouncy houses and scream wah, wah, wah.
I only set them up. Do you want one? I can get you set up.
Do you understand what I am saying to you? Do you have the actual capacity to listen?
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
It's just I prove logic, and then you try to disprove it.
You don't prove logic. You say very elementary things.
It's like, for instance,
Your opinion is so surface level that I'm actually genuinely concerned that you can't go below that and understand really anything of depth or look at a big picture because you are so myopically focused.
no, but I go off of biologic. I don't go off of people's opinion. Biologically, that is a fetus that's gonna.
You do not go off of biology.
Oh, so
Ryan is a biologist.
oh, okay, Ryan. So, or is it that guy's name is?
This is Aaron.
Okay, so okay, I guess I can't ask Aaron because he's not a biologist, but
But I am a clinical social worker.
common knowledge that a fetus is going to turn to a
So
baby.
I brought Aaron in so that we could talk about sex with you because I do feel you could use some guidance in essentially the human elements of sex, since you want to put semen on a stick.
So explain to me what the elements are.
Sure.
I mean,
so
I'm sure you. I hope you put a marshmallow, on there first.
Yeah.
And warm it up like a s'more.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yep. So one thing to consider when it comes to biology is that biology is a constant or continuum of different stages or states. So a fetus is not a 1-year-old child.
But you can't say the fetus will not develop into a 1-year-old child because
no one is saying
you can.
It won't.
No, you can't because it literally is developing. It's in the process of developing into a
right, but it's not a guarantee. It could develop just like children could become adults.
Okay,
fetuses can die in stillbirth or they can go through a miscarriage.
A miscarriage is completely different than abortion because abortion itself, a miscarriage.
It's not that different. So, an abortion is very much the same process as a miscarriage. It's just induced by a medical procedure.
You understand the difference of a miscarriage. A miscarriage is not like intended to kill the baby.
Yes.
What does a miscarriage do?
Yeah, what does a miscarriage do?
The baby dies on its own.
That's what happens in an abortion when they
no, it doesn't.
The same process.
No,
it's just
no,
induced.
no. Mm-hmm. You're taking its resources away. So you want to have a kid, then you don't want to feed it. It's going to die. So you're taking the resources away from.
What do you think happens in a miscarriage?
The baby dies on its own. It's not the mother's.
No, the resources are stopped in a miscarriage. The processes that feed the baby are stopped and withdrawn.
But
that's literally what the abortion pill does, is that it simulates the same hormones that a miscarriage does.
Mm-hmm. So why don't they just call all miscarriages abortions if they're the same thing? Because they're not.
They do. They're actually called spontaneous abortions.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the definition?
Miscarriage is also a spontaneous abortion.
What's the definition of miscarriage?
I can look it up.
I mean, you're the biology one here. Why are you asking me?
Because I want to hear what the internet has to say, the legal definition.
So
these are not legal terms. These are medical terms.
A miscarriage is when an embryo or fetus dies before the 20th week of pregnancy.
It dies. Mm-hmm. Abortion, taking it away from those resources. That's what you're doing.
No.
Oh.
The abortion's the same thing.
But there's another external human taking the resources away. It's not the baby dying because somebody's taking it away. It's dying on its own.
Miscarriage is when an embryo or a fetus dies before the 20th week of pregnancy.
Yes, on its own. It was never intended to die. Mm-hmm. It died because either the mother had something wrong, but
miscarriages don't happen at all, but have nothing to do with the mother themselves. Sometimes there's a lot of other processes that just fail.
Okay, so no, it does have something to do. I know somebody that I used to work with, and she's tried to have a baby like 3 times. She's had 3 miscarriages. So it does have something to do with the mother.
No, it can just be the faulty of other things. It has nothing to do with the person themselves.
Okay, but a miscarriage is not meant to kill the baby. The baby or the fetus.
What is it meant to do?
They want to have a kid, but it's miscarried. So it's the resources the baby wasn't getting.
The result is the same.
Exactly, but
so what is the purpose of a miscarriage then?
There's no purpose. Nobody intends for a miscarriage to happen. If you intend for it, then it's abortion. That's the difference, because you're purposely ending somebody's life. A miscarriage, you tried to have a baby and you wanted to have a baby, and it didn't work out. That's the
And
difference.
sometimes abortions are done after the 20th week of pregnancy because of stillbirth.
Because of what?
Stillbirth.
Okay, so that's a miscarriage?
No, that's an abortion after stillbirth.
Okay, so
it's essentially doing what nature failed to do.
Yes, it's continuing the process, essentially.
okay, so you understand the abortion meaning is completely different from miscarriage, because I guarantee you it says something
No.
along the lines of pretty much cutting resources off from the fetus or something.
No, because a miscarriage is a termination of the pregnancy, just like an abortion is a termination of a pregnancy.
But there are two different meanings. Like say you murder somebody that was riding a bike and you're riding on the side of the road. That's accidental murder. You didn't mean to do that. That's manslaughter.
There's
But
no such thing as accidental murder.
it's manslaughter. What?
Right? Manslaughter is not murder.
It's still killing somebody, but it's looked at different.
Right, but not all killing is murder.
No, if you go into a store and try to rob and you end up shooting somebody, that is murder.
Right, but I'm telling you that not all killing is murder. So
But it's a lot.
you can't have accidental murder because murder is defined as premeditated. Like it's a legal term you just don't understand.
No, there's really no difference. It's just killing. Let's just say that word.
Abortion.
No,
abortion
not
is...
all killings are murder.
So manslaughter. What is slaughtering something?
Abortion is a medical procedure that ends a pregnancy.
What does
There's
slaughter
no killing involved?
And it's just crickets all of a sudden, because slaughtering is the exact same thing.
Well, we didn't hear you.
Yeah.
What is slaughter? What is slaughter?
What do you mean? What is slaughter?
What is slaughter? To kill?
What?
To kill?
What is slaughter?
Ah, yes. Thank you. So manslaughter, you didn't intend. The definition was an unintentional killing. Murder is premeditated,
but it's not right, and you were using it incorrectly. You are correct. All murder is killing, but not all killing is murder.
But that's the difference of manslaughter and abortion. Abortion is murder because you are purposely trying to kill it.
Right. So should women be charged for manslaughter when they have miscarriages?
No.
Why?
That's the world we live in. It's a moral standing.
No, why? I'm asking you because based on your moral framework, an abortion should be murder. So why wouldn't a miscarriage be manslaughter?
It's moral standing. You don't get charged either way, whether abortion you mean to or not. But if you kill a baby outside the womb, that is murder. But just because morally the baby isn't born, that's the only difference y'all make. But it's moral standing. And 90% of people don't have morals nowadays. It's sad.
I know. And more people really lack common sense.
Yes, I push for innocent babies to live, but you want it to die.
A fetus is not innocent.
Yeah.
It is innocent. What is it done?
It's not. See, if we say that a fetus is innocent, then it has to have the ability to be guilty. And it doesn't have the ability to be guilty. Okay, it's not even a moral agent. So a fetus doesn't have morality. You're just applying that innocent qualifier to have an emotional response.
Okay, so you've seen that one show, Cops, right?
No.
It's where they chase down bad guys. You know that one, Aaron?
Yeah, I know Cops. I don't know what this has to do with anything.
At the start of every show, it says innocent until proven guilty. That fetus hasn't done.
Right.
So what are they going to prove guilty about it? Nothing.
So but those people are moral agents capable of understanding morality and what is good and bad. A fetus does not have that capability.
Can I explain something very, very simply? Innocence and guilt is determined in the courtroom, not in the womb or a uterus.
Okay, so the fetus doesn't have a brain, you say. The fetus doesn't have arms. What is it capable of thinking and doing to make it?
It has no executive function.
Nothing. Yeah.
So there's nothing it can be guilty of.
Correct.
Nor
Okay.
innocent of it.
It's innocent.
It's inert. Yeah.
So it's innocent. So you're killing an innocent baby.
No, you can't. No, this is two sides to one coin. If you can be one side of the coin, you can be the other side of the coin. And you just said a fetus cannot be guilty, so therefore it cannot be innocent. Like,
So
you realize something has to have an understanding of morality in order to be a moral agent.
But the thing is, you'll never be able to prove it guilty. So it's going to stay innocent until proven guilty, but you'll never be able to prove it guilty because you killed it. So it was never guilty.
No, that's, again, really, really bad logic.
And you're applying guilty and innocent verdicts, which belong in the courtroom, and you're applying it into a uterus, and it's kind of stupid at this point.
No, it's not, because
yes, because a womb is not,
for someone who says,
sadly,
for someone who says they argue biology, essentially you're arguing science, and science has no morality.
Well, no, this is what is kind
and that's all you talk about is moral standing, but you argue science. Like, those aren't mutually exclusive ideas.
But the thing about it that's the most sad is that you actually don't understand that a fetus is innocent. Like, how do you...
No, you don't understand how morality works.
Well, what's also really sad is you thought that I didn't have a job. That's really sad, too.
I mean,
you have no morals at all. There's no morality in your head.
Yeah, I do. Like,
no,
do you
we
think
actually...
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sorry,
ahead.
Kenzie. Okay, I was just going to say, like, first of all, it's kind of annoying that you think I actually don't get paid for my work when I do. That's the real conundrum here. But second of all, in order to do the work that I do, I have to have a very large scope and a very large moral compass. Because I have to navigate legal systems, ethical systems, mental health and medical systems, all in one fell swoop every day at my job.
Okay, and so what are people calling you about?
What are they calling me about?
Yeah, what are some questions you get? Like, what is your line of work?
I explained to you 20 minutes ago what my line of work is.
Why do you get paid? Because you told me you work with...
I get paid
something
through two revenue sources, one from the nonprofit itself and one from a county grant. And what I get paid to do is provide free of charge resources related to counseling, where I do one-to-one counseling, where I do hotline, not activism.
What do you
advocacy. Excuse me, I'm not done.
Why does this matter to the conversation for you, Ender? Like, Aaron is beyond qualified to have this type of dialogue.
He wants to act qualified, but the funny thing is, he wants to be all professional and stuff, but he can't answer somebody that actually is disproving him. But
I'm actually answering your question.
What have you disproven?
Yeah. The fact that he thinks a fetus is not a baby, which it completely is.
It's not. It's not.
A baby is a fetus.
Teenager or an adult is an adult. No, they're all...
A fetus is a fetus. A fetus is a fetus. An infant is an infant. A child is a child. An adolescent is an adolescent. A teenager is a teenager. An adult is an adult.
But they're all considered humans.
Yes, they are.
So if
Correct.
But a fetus is a very specific stage.
So if you murder a baby or you murder a 95-year-old man, you're still getting charged for murder.
Well, that's because at birth we give someone rights, where before they are born, they do not have rights.
Yes.
And they can't defend themselves in any possible way.
Well,
why?
They're not a moral agent.
Yeah. And also, when it comes to reproductive coercion, which is a lot of what I deal with, for example, I get calls from people who have experienced reproductive coercion, what ends up happening is that it is the women or the person who holds the uterus that has no rights. And they're looking for resources to find some sort of advocacy for their situation.
So you're 34. I just don't understand after all these...
I'm sorry, what?
You're 34.
He's starting with your age to minimize something. Keep going, Ender.
Keep going.
At 34, I have absolutely no idea how you can't comprehend that a fetus is going to develop into a baby.
It may develop into a baby.
Let's just say the ones that are me, you, him. Let's say the ones that did.
Do you recognize that it's not a guarantee?
Do you recognize that percentage is probably under
These
10?
are very simple questions. Why can't you just answer my questions?
I'm answering it back with a statement.
No, you're not. I asked a question and you then proceeded to ask me a question.
Okay, yes, not everyone lives when they're a fetus and grows into a baby.
Yeah,
but that
fetuses develop into
So you
stillbirth.
recognize, yes. So you
10%.
recognize that it's really just the potential. Here, why don't we take it just one step back? Can you tell me when someone is dead?
I mean, when they stop moving, when their heart stops. That's what you want to hear.
Nope.
No, I'm asking you. I don't need a certain answer for you. I want to know your answer.
When they're not moving anymore, when their brain's gone.
When their brain is gone. So would you say that if you are dead, that you can't be alive?
But it is a living thing, developing.
That's not what I asked you. When you are dead, can you be alive? Are these opposites?
No.
They are not opposites, so you can be dead and alive at the same time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, when you're dead, you can't be alive.
Okay, so they are opposites. So now you just said you have no brain, that means you're dead. A fetus does not have a brain. So by your definition, they are dead.
Okay, so you understand what a pregnancy is and why it takes 9 months?
Yeah.
Yes.
The mansplaining.
I don't know what's so funny. And I just explained to you how many different muscles and bones there are in a baby. So obviously it's not
right. So can I just read you something? I think this might help you better understand what I'm saying. Embryonic life and human life. A new human life comes into being not when there is mere cellular life in a human embryo, but when the newly developing body, organs, and system begin to function as a whole. This is symmetrical with death of an existing human life, which occurs when its organs and systems have permanently ceased to function as a whole, which you just agreed with. So now you have established the difference between embryonic life and human life. And I would like to give you a great big hand for that.
So you are saying embryonic life is, which I've said the whole time is the exact same as a baby. I don't know what's confusing.
All right, dude. I'm sorry you just can't, like, that you're not smart enough to get this. I really am.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
No.
we can hear you.
Oh, yeah. So
nope, can't hear you.
The whole argument, I have literally stuck to my conclusion that a fetus is a baby, but you are trying to corner me into something that I've never even disagreed with, which I've stuck to.
No, you have just shown how embryonic life is different than human life, but I think everyone has lost enough brain cells for today, Ender. So thank you so much for coming on. You have a great day, sir.
You too. Enjoy probably 3/4 of your life leaving.
What?
Enjoy 3/4 of your life.
I don't know how he. I don't.
Make sure to send me your girlfriend's address so I can send her flowers.
Flowers of sorrow and despair.
Now, you could probably send her a dead baby if you want.
Well, I think you could do that for her.
No, I don't support it.
Well, I mean, it would be your fault.
I mean, you live that life, so it's like, why not?
Bye.
Yeah, enjoy your life being dismissed.
Enjoying your life being dumb as hell.
Oh my gosh, when he asked, like, do you know what a pregnancy is? I'm just like, I'm dying. Fuck this.
My God, you guys, I don't know why I tolerate. I don't know why, like, I talk to dumb people. Like,